Hello, everybody. Hello, greetings. How are you? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. My name is Brad Cruz. I am the Associate Vice President of Alumni Relations. I'm going to just take 1 minute to look around this room and say how nice it is for us to be gathered in person, sharing a meal. We've missed this the past 3 years, so glad to have all of you here. And we also have some friends joining us on the live stream, watching from home. So hello to you all as well. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to our pianist, Gaetano Parks. Thank you very much. He is playing a piano that was donated by triple alumna Nancy Kerfish Johnson. Homecoming is a celebration. It's for our entire community. Alumni, family, friends, faculty, staff. There's such a community here at Case Western Reserve. And it's wonderful to have all of you back on campus. To share your joy in recalling great memories, you're living proof that we can continue to think beyond the possible and achieve the dreams that are born out of our boldest thoughts. I hope you are as proud of Case Western Reserve University as we are of you. And I hope you get to soak up the ambiance that we have. It feels like homecoming. And to steal a line from our friends over in the Center for International Affairs, you are welcome here. So you are welcome, and we're glad to have you. I'd like to ask this year's homecoming court to stand and be recognized. Are they here? They are here. These are exceptional young leaders on our campus who embody our Case Western Reserve spirit. It's also great to have many members of the university's leadership team in attendance. Is the provost here, Chief Academic Officer? There he is. Chief Academic Officer of the University Provost and Executive Vice President Ben Vincent III. Great to have you here. Also, many of our distinguished academic leaders are with us today. When I call your name, please stand and be recognized. From the Case School of Engineering, Dean Raghu Balakrishna. From the School of Law, Co-Dean Jessica W. Bird. The School of Dental Medicine, Kenneth Chance. From the School of Medicine, Stanton Gerson. The co-deans of the Weatherhead School of Management, Andrew Medvedev and J.B. Silvers. The Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing, Carol M. Musil. Dean Dexter Voisin, Jack Joseph and Morton Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences. And from the College of Arts and Sciences, Dean Joy K. Ward. We also like to welcome back our alumni to campus, particularly those who graduated the university 50 or more years ago. It's a group we call the Grand Classes. We have almost 150 Grand Classes alumni attending homecoming festivities over the weekend. And they should be easy to spot. They're wearing silver lanyards for their name tags. In fact, some of them are in this room. So if you are part of the Grand Class, would you stand or wave? Yeah, I know you're here. There they are. For our loyal and true supporters, please be sure to visit the Shine On area, which is just downstairs in this building, near check-in on the first floor. The Shine On area, it recognizes alumni's commitment to the university and donors and volunteers. As some of you may know, we are distributing a few tokens of our deep appreciation, including a small gift, not a grift, and a loyal and true, but would we want a grift? No, yeah, and loyal and true donor or volunteer pins. Thank you to all our alumni donors, volunteers, for all the ways you help the university to shine on. So I actually want to, I'm going off script, sorry guys. We give out these 5 wonderful awards, and we're going to do that in just a few minutes. But what's really great, I think, is we have so many other of our previous award recipients in this room. So I'm going to name the awards. So the Young Alumni, the Dan Clancy Alumni Service Award, the Newton Baker Award for Distinguished Service, the Professional Achievement Award, and also our Distinguished Alum. If you are a previous recipient of one of those awards, stand up, alumni. All right, so now the people in this room enjoy your lunch. If you're watching us on the live stream, last year I told you to do laundry, so this year, I think you probably should clean that junk drawer out. Okay, we'll see you in a little while. Enjoy lunch. We are going to go right into the rest of the program. Stick around because desserts will be at the conclusion of the awards ceremony. But please welcome to the stage the president of Case Western Reserve University, Eric W. Kaler.
Thanks, Brad, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm really just thrilled that so many of our alumni, our parents, students, and friends have joined us today for the annual Alumni Association Awards. And I have to tell you, we did this in the before times. Then we did last year a dilute version of this because everybody had to be further apart, and I think we had food and plastic things. Did we have this event? It was really nice for the people who won awards. It is a whole lot better to be here in person and being able to share and visit and have a real party to celebrate the success of the individuals we'll honor in just a little bit. So thank you for coming back to our campus for our homecoming weekend, and I really do hope you enjoy yourselves as you reconnect with friends and family and faculty here at Case Western Reserve. Now, maybe some of you were here last night for the event out on Freiburger Field for the reinvented Blue Bash. Oh, where's the little one? Oh, normally, oh yeah, I know, I'm sad too, buddy, it's okay. So last night we had the Blue Bash. We used to call it the Blue Block, but we outgrew the block, so now it's the Blue Bash. And we had it for the first time since 2019, and it was a huge amount of fun. The weather was beautiful, fireworks show, clubs, students, alumni having just a great time. So that was fun, and I hope you're able to attend some of our other events. And of course, tomorrow to cheer on our Spartan football team as we play St. Vincent's College. Now, if you take a walk around the campus in the coming days, you'll notice just a few changes. We renovated the Case Quad over the summer and installed new pathways, updated lighting, benches, trees, and grass. We'll finish it up next spring, adding some sculptures and some other landscaping touches, and it really looks fabulous. It's noticeably an upgrade, so if you get a chance, walk out and visit the quad. We've also made some much-needed upgrades in our chemistry and physics laboratory spaces in the College of Arts and Sciences, and we've made a big announcement about some additional space for science and research, but I'll share that in just a few moments. If you happen to stop by the Linsalata Alumni House this weekend, please look at the Robert P. Madison exhibit. Bob Madison is an emeriti trustee and among our most loyal supporters. But he was also the first black student to graduate from the Western Reserve University School of Architecture and the first to earn a degree in architecture in the state of Ohio. He enjoyed an impressive career as an architect and was kind enough to share some of his personal belongings with us, which are now on display for you to see. So stop by and see it this weekend. The other quick story about Bob that's interesting is that he served in the Army in World War II in Italy, and one morning he was to go from place one to place two, and he went to get his driver out of bed, and his driver was not able to get out of bed, if you know what I mean. So Bob drove himself, and his Jeep was ambushed, and the passenger side of his Jeep, where he would have been riding, was completely destroyed, and he was thrown free and survived. So he's an interesting man. So there's one other thing that's new on campus this year, and it's this guy. This is a 125-pound cross between a St. Bernard and a poodle. He weighs 125 pounds. 124 and a half of that is pure love. And he's a rescue. He was found tied to a dumpster in the east part of Cleveland. And my wife fell in love with him, and therefore he's now at Harcourt House, and he's a wonderful dog. And his name, initially I wanted to call him Bert. But if you look at this dog is clearly not a Bert. He deserves a much more elegant and important name. So his full name is Adelbert. And we do call him Bert for short. So today, let me take a few moments to share what we've been up to since we were last together, and importantly, where we're headed in the near and long term. It has been a pretty remarkable 12 months. We've gotten a lot of things done, and I'm proud to share that we remain focused today on the same three initiatives and ideas that I articulated on my very first day at the university in July of 2021. And those are, number one, be committed to elevating academic excellence and improving the Case Western Reserve University experience for all of our students. Second, we are committed to expanding our research enterprise, and I'll talk more about that in a bit, but our goal is to grow our research expenditures from a little over $400 million that we are now to $600 million as quickly as possible. I don't see why we should delay moving that number forward, and we will do that. And third, and perhaps most importantly for the long term, I spent most of my career at public institutions, many of which had the land-grant mission, the mission to teach and do research, but also to serve the place that you are in. And I think we need to serve the place that we are in. There is no great city that doesn't have a great research university. That's our obligation to the city of Cleveland. It's our obligation to this region, and I think we need to come down out of our ivory tower into our communities to improve the world and the health and well-being of our people. That won't happen if we stay on our beautiful campus, so we're actively engaging our neighborhoods and moving the dial on a variety of initiatives. So we've made significant progress on those priorities, and we continue to build all of those priorities on the foundation of the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion for all that we do. I do believe, as my friend Catrice Albert says, equity and diversity is everybody's work every day. And I know with the work we're doing, we are headed in the right direction. Let me give you a little update on enrollment. This fall, we enrolled 1,550 first year and 65 transfer students at Case Western Reserve University. We attracted those students from an applicant pool of 38,000 people. So this is one of the great mysteries in higher education, is how do you take an applicant pool of 38,000 and a target of 1,550 and land exactly on the right number with the quality of the class that we have. And it's a remarkable class academically, but it's even more so from a diversity point of view. Fully 26% of them identify as an underrepresented minority, 24% identify as Asian American, and 14% are international. 15% of our student body is from the state of Ohio, which means 85% of them come from around the country and indeed around the world. We're going to grow our undergraduate enrollment by a few hundred people over the next couple years, and I'm certain that we can do that with no diminution in our academic quality, because if you look at a group of 38,000 applicants, the academic qualifications of the last few hundred that we let in and the first few hundred that we don't let in are really difficult to tell apart. So we will go a little deeper into that group, grow a little bit, and I think provide an opportunity for more people to come and get the kind of magnificent education that this university delivers. So we're looking forward to that. So we are moving forward in the diversity and inclusion conversation in an important way, and you can see it in the numbers of our entering class. So We also welcomed last year our first cohort of students who received what we call the Provost Office North Star Award for graduate students. It's a partnership program with 10 minority-serving institutions and HBCUs from around the country, and it offers students new and expanded pathways to our graduate and professional school programs and a discounted tuition. We'll welcome also our second year of North Star cohorts this fall. And in the picture of the slide, I think you can see one of the students from our first cohort. Her name's Caitlin Gillespie, and she earned her undergraduate degree at Fisk, and now she's working towards her master's of public health here at Case Western Reserve. We've also expanded our partnership with the Posse Foundation, which helps top colleges and universities recruit young leaders from diverse backgrounds around the country. Those students receive a full 4-year scholarship to Case Western Reserve University. And we joined Posse in 2017, welcoming our first cohort of students from New Orleans. This fall, we welcomed a second cohort of students from around the country as part of a virtual Posse program, bringing students together and connecting them online. Back in January, we began a partnership with an organization called QuestBridge, which is a very selective cooperative. It's a national nonprofit organization, provides low-income students an opportunity to attend a small group of highly selective U.S. colleges and universities, and we're delighted to be part of that group. And finally, we're part of the Say Yes to National Higher Education Compact. Within this program, the program here called Say Yes Cleveland, students who are accepted to Case Western Reserve also can attend tuition free. So these diversity and inclusion values we not only uphold and believe in, we invest in, because it's very simple. We know the more diverse our student body is, the stronger we become as a university community. One cannot have excellence if you do not have a diversity of thought, diversity of backgrounds, and a diversity of experience. It just doesn't work without it. So moving to our research enterprise, earlier I mentioned our goal was to increase research expenditures up to about $600 million annually. And the first step in doing that is to bring on board a new leader. So for the first time, we now have a senior vice president for research who reports directly to me. We previously had a vice president for research who worked with the provost, so I've elevated that position to a direct report to me. And we're very pleased that we've been able to recruit Michael Oakes from the University of Minnesota to come be our inaugural senior vice president for research, and we're looking forward to his continued engagement. He's been here a couple of months, and he's hit us like a whirlwind, which is exactly what I hoped. We also have invested a significant amount of activity and resource in building the research infrastructure that we need to write more research grants. You know, there's a Wayne Gretzky saying that you miss 100% of the hockey shots that you don't take. And oddly enough, that applies exactly in the grant writing world too. You do not get 100% of the grants that you do not submit. Pretty simple. The more grants you write, the more you win. Our faculty are magnificently talented individuals who have great potential to grow their research portfolio, and we're also aggressively in the market hiring junior and even experienced faculty members to come build their careers here. We've also had very much success in major grants just this year. This week, the National Institutes of Health, NIH, awarded about a $16 million contract to a team of Case Western Reserve and Duke researchers, and it'll accelerate the development of therapeutic devices that improve chronic medical conditions like hypertension, heart failure, and gastrointestinal disorders. Last month, the Department of Energy awarded us a $12 million grant for a multi-year renewable energy research project that focuses on new battery electrolytes. And that kind of research has the potential to provide the long-lasting, large-scale energy storing solutions that we absolutely must have if we're going to decarbonize the economy. And whether or not you believe in climate change, it's pretty clear the climate's different now than it was, and a key to slowing that change is decarbonization. In August, we were among several collaborating institutions to receive not one but two separate $26 million grants each from the National Science Foundation, one for a project aimed at accelerating American manufacturing, and the second one advancing agricultural research. And earlier this month, we've had a pretty good couple of months. We received a $14 million award from the Department of Energy's National Nuclear Security Administration for materials data science, and that helps us safeguard the nuclear stockpile for the country. And all of those grants come because our faculty are superbly skilled at writing research grants, and we want them to do some more. We're doing some really important work there and driving that forward. We have a lot of other things in the research space that I'm going to move us through quickly in a desire to get to our awards ceremony, but I want to spend some time on community engagement, which is our third priority, and it is a focus on engagement both internally and externally. Internally, we worked with Gallup on an engagement survey that we shared with all faculty and staff in April. We received our results and we were a little disappointed. And we weren't quite at the level of engagement that compared to our peers that I had hoped we would be. So we call up the Gallup people and I say, you know, we had this thing called COVID and you're giving me a 5-year average of what results used to be. What are you seeing more recently? And they say, yeah, well, you know, you're right. The entire Great Resignation, the entire do as little as you can to keep your job idea that you read about in the newspapers, yeah, that's a real thing, and it's a thing here too. So we really are engaging aggressively with faculty and staff to enable us to recruit, retain, and importantly re-engage our community to the level that we would like to have. We'll measure our progress on engagement in a variety of subsequent surveys, but it is absolutely clear the more engaged the workplace is, the more enriching our student experience will be. Externally, we're focusing on our neighborhood. And this past year, we announced plans for our Cleveland Population and Urban Health initiative, which is originated in the School of Medicine and its dean, Stan Gerson, but it's now a cross-institutional program and includes the Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences, the College of Arts and Sciences, and the Case School of Engineering, among others. The program has 3 goals. First, to create a regional network for urban health research and health policy, focused really on determining the societal determinants of health. Second, to establish workforce development pipeline focused on urban health evidence-based practices. And thirdly, to advance regional health and productivity. We really are focusing here on life expectancy. In Cleveland, you can be born in one place or another, and depending on your choice of those places within Cuyahoga County, your lifespan prediction is 10 years different. So in the disadvantaged parts of Cleveland, we are not serving our people well. We need to do better. And we need to intersect the opportunities well before these individuals become patients in hospitals or emergency rooms to enable them to have the kind of nutrition, the kind of pre- and postnatal care, the other elements of the societal determinants that help them be healthy. So we're working on that. We've re-engaged in the community with a community engagement and impact task force. We've got a community newsletter. We're opening the doors and welcoming the community on to our campus. So we've filled some key leadership and faculty positions. We've got a strong leadership team, and I think we've got a slide of them up here. Yes. On September 1st, J.B. Silvers and Andrew Medvedev became as interim co-deans at Weatherhead, there in the upper left. Next to them is Dean Tufts. We welcomed him on board as our Vice President for Campus Planning and Facilities Management. Senior Vice President Michael Oakes joined us, as I mentioned. January 1st, Dexter Voisin joined us as the Dean of the Jack Joseph and Morton Mendel School of Applied Social Sciences. Also on January 1, Yolanda Cooper was named University Librarian, and T.J. Shelton became our new Athletic Director. So, we're filling. We have also been successful in some hiring initiatives. Specifically, I want to mention the Provost North Star Faculty Opportunity Hires. That's an initiative that began in July of 2021 with a goal to hire faculty who meet a scholarly need and who have a strong commitment to diversifying their departments and programs. These faculty also represent some of the top individuals in their fields. Past year, we've hired 5 faculty members through this program, and we expect to do more in the months to come. So moving forward, we are focused like a laser on achieving excellence across this university. We have our leadership team in place, and we have a very strong financial base, so we're well positioned to move ahead. And as we do so, we must follow a couple of really key principles. We must be focused on the 3 priorities and commit ourselves to measure our progress with data. Secondly, we have to stay focused. We can't be distracted by opportunities that don't align with our goals and our vision. And finally, we have to be flexible. When opportunities do come along that align with what we want to do and who we want to be, then we should be able to pivot resources to engage them. We've made great progress this past year, and I look forward to many more to come. And I'll close with my favorite African proverb, which says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I look very forward to going very far with you. Thank you for being here this afternoon. I'm pleased now to introduce Aishwarya Arjunan, President of the Alumni Association of Case Western Reserve. For those of you who know her, you know how enthusiastic she is and how committed to her alma mater she is. She became the Alumni Association president 2 years ago in the throes of the pandemic, so her term has been, as they say, interesting and certainly not typical. But she has been nothing short of exceptional. Her term ends at the end of this year, and I will miss her very much, but I also know we won't let her go very far. She will be engaged because of who she is. Aishwarya, thank you for all you've done. Please.
All right, thank you, President Kaler, and good afternoon, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying your lunch. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I'm proud to welcome our alumni, students, families, faculty, and staff that are in attendance today in person, and also those joining virtually, including my mom. And as President Kaler said, it's been a pleasure and it's been an honor to serve on the Alumni Association Board of Directors for the last 6 years, and 2 as president. And it's kind of weird to think about, I've been an alum, I guess, now for 12 years, and half of that time has been spent serving on the Board of Directors, but it's really been an amazing experience. I've had the opportunity to meet so many of my fellow alumni, learn about their stories at this university, and really create these lifelong friendships that I really will treasure. There's a number of them that are here today, and so I really do want to honor these individuals because the Board of Directors is made up of a group of individuals that really are dedicated to fostering this lifelong relationship between our current, but then also our future alumni. So I'd like to take a quick moment to recognize the current members of the Alumni Association Board of Directors. So those of you that are currently in attendance, if you could please stand. I think a lot of you are over there in that area. So the current board members. If you could please remain standing, I'm going to ask the Emeriti board members that are in attendance to also stand and join you. So also earlier, I was going to say thank you all for your continued engagement, but also your leadership and advice and insight throughout the last 6 years. Earlier this morning, we also had our annual All Alumni meeting, and we welcomed 2 new board members to our organization, Carlene Bobrowski and Christina Shen. So if you could, I think Christina is in person, so if you could also stand, we are looking forward to your contribution to our group. So welcoming new members You can feel free to stop that. Thanks. Welcoming new members also means that we have some folks that are rolling off and also some changes that are happening to our group. I'll be rolling off, but also I'd like to acknowledge Chuck Brandman for his service to the board. Chuck, thank you for your time, your passion, and guidance throughout your years on the board, and we will miss you, and hopefully we will have you join our meetings and calls in the future. And I would also like to congratulate, we also had elections earlier this morning to our new board president, who will be starting at the beginning of the year, Srinivas Rao, and our new vice president, Dean Fazikis, and our secretary, Nancy Carlson, who is staying strong for the third year on a row. But thank you all to our current executive committee and then our future executive committee that will be starting. Okay, now for the awards and recognizing the amazing individuals that are here today within our CWRU community. Throughout the year, alumni offices associated with the various schools of Case Western Reserve present awards to alumni and members of our community. These award recipients are listed on the back of the Luncheon program and will be honored throughout the weekend. But we would like to ask all of the recipients who are here today to please stand so that we can recognize you. I know there's a few of you here, so please stand if you are here. And this afternoon, we'll be focusing on the Alumni Association's awards. And these awards celebrate excellence by honoring alumni and members of our community who have brought extraordinary pride to Case Western Reserve University. The Awards and Recognition Committee of the Alumni Board is charged with selecting the recipients annually. Sadly, late last year, one of our founding committee members, Emerita Board member Laura Nosek, passed away. Laura was a triple alum of CWRU and a former recipient of the Dan Clancy Alumni Service Award. As the committee deliberated this year, we missed her input as well as her keen knowledge of Robert's Rules of Orders. But rest in peace to Dr. Nosek. The Awards and Recognition Committee is currently chaired by board members Carmina Mayers, School of Law, Class of 2001, and Weatherhead School of Management, Class of 2020, and Alex Krantz, Western Reserve College, Class of 1988. I would really like to thank both of them for their hard work in putting this important program together and working with the Recognition Committee to select such an amazing group of individuals to honor. And it is now my pleasure to invite both Carmina and Alex to join me on stage as we honor our recipients. Thank you all, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and also the rest of the homecoming weekend.
Thank you, Ashwarya, and congratulations on such a strong tenure as president of the CWRU Alumni Association. Before we present the awards, Carmina and I would like to thank our fellow members of the Awards and Recognition Committee for their hard work in evaluating and selecting this year's recipients. It was a pleasure to work with all of you. Our first award is the Young Alumni Award. In Anne Frank's Tales of the Secret Annex, Anne wrote, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." Alumnus Felipe Gomez del Campo is certainly not waiting a moment. He launched his own company, FGC Plasma Solutions, while as an undergrad student. His company develops technologies to improve the performance of jet engines for commercial aviation, gas turbines for power generation, and other state-of-the-art engines. Felipe holds numerous patents and is currently conducting research projects for the U.S. Department of Energy and Argonne National Laboratory. In its energy category, Forbes named him to its 30 under 30. Felipe was honored by former President Barack Obama as an emerging global entrepreneur. Please welcome the 2022 Young Alumni Award recipient, Felipe Gomez del Campo.
Wow. Thank you so much to President Kaler and the Alumni Association for this award. I'm honored, especially as one of many very talented alums. It's an honor to stand before you and accept humbly this award. So I was only on campus for a few minutes before getting here, and I was instantly transported back. I walked by a hot air vent that was outside of Mather, and the whole swim team would stop there on the way to the pool to warm themselves at 5 in the morning on our way to practice, and all the memories came back. But when I was here, I was a fairly good student athlete, probably a better student entrepreneur, really not that good of a student. But what I did learn here is how to approach a really difficult problem with hard work and the sound application of scientific principles and find an answer that people might not think exists, right? That to me is what thinking beyond the possible is, not necessarily in the thermodynamic sense for all of the engineers in the room, but in the sense of doing things that people don't think are possible and getting there with hard work. That's what I took from my time here at CASE, what I take with me every day, what the other alums that work on my team do as well. So I'm honored to stand here before you as a proud alum, to always keep looking for ways to give back to the university and to keep making the university proud. So thank you again.
Congratulations, Felipe. Our next award is the Daniel T. Clancy Alumni Service Award. The award's namesake, Dan Clancy, is watching today's program via our live stream. Dan is the Senior Executive Director Emeritus for the Case Western Reserve Alumni Association. Dan led the department for many years. Glad you could be with us virtually today, Dan. This year's recipient of the Daniel T. Clancy Alumni Service Award is Oliver L. Poppenberg, Sr. In 1963, 4 years after Ollie graduated from the Case Institute of Technology, the music group Beach Boys released their single, Be True to Your School. One wonders if Oliver L. Poppenberg, Sr. and his steadfast support of his alma mater were the inspiration for this tune. Ollie has been Alumni Admission Ambassador for several years, sharing what the university has meant to him both personally and professionally. Ollie, in fact, was an Alumni Admission Ambassador before there was a formal program in place. Not only has he recruited students, but Ollie has also served on the Case School of Engineering's visiting committee. Just recently, the Poppenberg family added another CWRU alumnus to its ranks when Ollie's grandfather, Sophia, graduated in 2021. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Oliver L. Poppenberg, Sr., the 2022 Daniel T. Clancy Alum Service Award recipient.
Thank you. I was going to give her speech.
No?
Well, thank you for this award. The CWRU Alumni Association and Dan Clancy, who I first met when he was first appointed to the position of Director of Alumni Relations. And that's when the whole thing really started with me, because I really became enthusiastic of supporting and working closely with the university. A special thanks for the recognition and honor that I receive. I don't think another honor means more to me than receiving the Dan Clancy Award. Dan and I have been long friends, and I'm sorry he's not here in person today, but Dan and Carol, we'll see you very soon. I want to take this opportunity to talk about the university and a lot of it that I was involved in. And there's really three things that I think are the building blocks of a university. One is recruiting of students who are capable of learning and experiencing the CWRU environment. It changes the way you think, it changes the way you are going to be living your lives. The other part that I want to encourage is in the involvement with the university. So many people that are alumni are not participants. There's only a few of us. We need to expand it for your own benefit as an alum, and also for the benefit of the organization. We need to support the university with all the involvement. And it's more than just financial. It is enthusiasm, it is supporting, and is saying, putting out the good word of the university. The other area that I'm presently active in, and that is to work on mentoring students. I think we've heard some of these words before. Unfortunately, I wrote this a couple weeks ago, and I think mentoring is one of the most important things that alumni can bring to our existing students. Most of the students need life skills, and through the mentoring program, and specifically the mentoring program that I'm involved in, it revolves around our local fraternity, Ohio Rho, which is a part of Sigma Alpha Epsilon. We have 25 alumni, and I believe there is 56 actives in the fraternity who are being mentored by our alum in many different areas. We talk about networking, we talk about getting jobs that are available for internships. We talk about welcoming new graduates to a new city so they can get involved with the university. And that program has been successful, and what I've really learned from my discussion of the previous recipient of this award, that the school is going to work on a mentoring program. And this one is probably a little more focused because I really do believe Case is better off for a strong Greek system, which includes the fraternities and the sororities. It becomes a small group of undergraduates that are diverse, and they learn how to live and work and receive leadership training from the basic national Greek organizations. Anyways, that's all my real comments, but I really want to thank my family, who have for years listened to my espousing of the attributes of Case Western Reserve. Most of them are pretty tired of it. In fact, when Sophie was ready to come here, she was ready to graduate, I was not allowed to talk, to mention to anyone in the family that Sophie is graduating from high school and needs to pick a school. Well, she really made, I think, everybody proud. She is now out of school for 2 years, and she is, as I think I point out in one of my articles, is probably my best contribution to the university, is providing a grandchild who is going to be an outstanding supporter of the university. And I want to thank everybody again. I hope I didn't bore anybody with my ranting and raving of why you need to be active in Western Reserve, whether or not you're a student, an alum, a supporter, a spouse of an alum. But please do talk about and promote Case Western Reserve, because I think it's one of the finest universities. Well, I know it's the finest university. Thank you again. Bye.
Congratulations, Ollie. Our next award is the Newton Baker Distinguished Service Award. Newton Baker was a former mayor of Cleveland who encouraged others to give their time, talent, and service for the betterment of the community. This year's recipient is Cheryl McRae Bergeron. The Hard Rock Cafe for over 50 years has had the motto, "Love all, serve all." Cheryl McRae Bergeron lives by the same creed. Cheryl has served both her country and Case Western Reserve University. In the U.S. Air Force, she was a nursing professional who rose through the ranks and became a colonel. She was the chief nurse of Air Combat Command and both the chief of medical operations and chief nurse for Pacific Air Command when she retired in 2002. Cheryl is a certified registered nurse anesthesiast and has advocated for this advanced nurse training both in the United States and abroad. Not only does Cheryl have an impressive military background, she has also served Case Western Reserve admirably. First, she served on Alumni Association committees and also joined the Alumni Board of the Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing. After her service to the Nursing Alumni Board, Cheryl joined the university's Alumni Association Board. Cheryl demonstrated her hospitality a few years ago when the women's basketball team were visiting Atlanta for a game with Emory. Cheryl and her husband, Woody, hosted the team and its coaches to dinner at a restaurant, and following dinner, the Bergerons had the group over to their residence for homemade desserts. This year's recipient, Cheryl could not be with us today, but we do have a video message from her.
Well, I would like to thank them for this award. It's a very prestigious award. I wanted to give something that could really make a difference, not only now, but in the future. And that's what it's all about. My scholarships will make it possible for other people, hopefully people like me, that have no way of going on to college. I'm still the girl that came off the dirt road, Church Road Extension in Cobb County. I love being a nurse anesthetist.
Well, I'm proud of her. She worked really hard. 26 or whatever it was, state licenses. She traveled the world for the military giving anesthesia. I'm proud of her to give that gift to Francis Payne Bolton.
Maybe some other person along the way would like to do this that came from a similar background than I did. I thought, I have enough money. I can put somebody else through school. And Woody and I talked about, what are we going to do? What are we going to leave? I gave a little bit every year to Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing. My heart bleeds for people I know that want an education and they just can't get it because they don't have any money. They have plenty of smarts. That's why I came up with a scholarship program to the DNP, Doctorate of Nursing Practice.
They chose Cheryl just because she's so dedicated and driven and really did a lot for the school. And she always talks about Francis Payne Bolton and tells everybody about it. So she really appreciates the school and she will love this award.
I liked all the professors. They were very, very nice. They were very kind. Dr. Shirley Moore was a great influence. She was so sweet and so kind. My research was on the deployment of a medical operations unit. The Air Combat Command, we always have people deployed. And we found out what the stressors were. What do people do when they're not in their usual surroundings? But being in the military is different because you have an already built-in camaraderie.
She had the medics all take these 3 psychological tests before they deployed, and then when they came back, what they discovered was, they always took care of the fighting forces, but they discovered that the medical forces needed just as much attention when they came back home.
Get out, work, and give back to the profession.
Congratulations, Cheryl. Our next award is the Professional Achievement Award. This year's recipient is Timothy J. Miller. Mother Teresa once said, quote, "One of the greatest diseases is to be nobody to anybody." Case Western Reserve University alumnus Timothy J. Miller is someone to those who are suffering. Tim is taking on the critical challenge of first tackling and then treating childhood diseases. As a patient-centric drug developer and entrepreneur, he strives to produce life-saving gene therapies targeting some rare childhood afflictions. With 20+ years in business development, scientific research, product development, and clinical operations, Tim proves to be more than a biotech leader, because Tim is a biotech crusader. He is the co-founder and president of Forge Biologics. The company is committed to providing manufacturing capacity and patient access through gene therapies. Tim once said, quote, "Gene therapies can help change the way we treat patients with genetic diseases and bring hope to millions of families suffering from illnesses that 20 years ago had no treatment available," unquote. Not only Tim is leading the way in the biotech industry, but he has partnered with the university's National Center for Regenerative Medicine, so our students gain exposure to gene therapy manufacturing. How cool is that? As his company continues to make strides in this emerging space, Tim is a staunch advocate for establishing Ohio as a hub for biotech ventures. Oh, did I mention that Tim Miller is also an avid mountain climber who once has summited several peaks for a great mission? Please welcome the 2022 Professional Achievement Award recipient, Timothy J. Miller.
I'm not sure I anticipated a comparison to Maria Teresa that early in my career, but thank you to the Alumni Association for this award. People ask about what we do, and a few years ago there was a great movie that came out, and we have a very strong superhero culture at Forge Biologics and some of the other companies that I've been a part of. And it was when Batman was talking to the Flash, and the Flash didn't really know what to do. And like many of us coming into Case Western, we didn't really know what to do when we first came here. And I think Felipe said it best about trying to find and working together. But Batman says to the Flash, just save one. And one of the things that I learned here from my mentors, Mitch Strum and Pam Davis, was just figuring out through science how we could translate that science into better therapies to help save children that are suffering from rare disease. With that, I just wanted to say thank you again, and thanks to my family, my mom and dad, and my 3 children for being able to support me as I've continued this career, and a lot of my colleagues. So again, thank you.
Congratulations, Tim. Our final award is the Distinguished Alumni Award. This year's recipient is Jack Dannemiller. Success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it, said Henry David Thoreau. Based on Thoreau's quote, double alumnus Jack Dannemiller has been a very, very busy man. 57 years ago, for his MBA thesis, Jack created a professional selling skills training program that has been used by countless businesses and industries. For many years, Jack was chairman and CEO of Applied Industrial Technologies, a Cleveland-based distributor of industrial, motion, and control technologies. With Jack at the helm, the company brought in innovative practices that led to tripling its product types and expanding its global reach. Some of the company's clients include Miller Brewing Company, the Chrysler Corporation, Milliken & Company, and Motorola. He completed a joint venture with 2 other distributors in the mid-90s that offered industrial customers one-stop shopping where electrical components, pipes, valves, and fittings were available under a unified ordering and billing format. Jack was named Weatherhead's Distinguished Alumnus in 1999. He recently served on the visiting committee of the CWRU Larry Sears and Sally Zlotnick Sears ThinkBox Innovation Center. Please welcome the 2022 Distinguished Alumnus recipient, Jack Dannemiller.
If I had known we had a teleprompter, I would have prepared remarks for the teleprompter. But I don't like to read remarks, although I had the greatest challenge in my life when they said you can have 5 minutes. And usually when I get up and talk, it's usually unlimited time. And so I'm going to try to focus on a quick 5 minutes of my 84 years. I am blessed and honored and humbled to receive this prestigious award. Thank you so much. Thank you and to Eric and the university for all it's done for me and all it's meant to me. I stand here looking at family. I look out across the audience and I think, this is not just addressing the alumni of this wonderful institution, it's talking to family. And so we're going to have a little heart-to-heart talk to family of what's happened in my 84 years. I am glad I'm still able to be active. My beloved Jean Marie went to be with the Lord a couple years ago. It's been a difficult time. This last week has been exceptionally difficult with respect to the fact that I live in Fort Myers in the winter. Most of my friends have lost everything. I stand here today grateful that I have a place to go maybe, but I have friends who are in their mid-80s and 90s who don't have anything. They've lost all their personal possessions. They had the materials in their backpack when they left the island, they thought, for 2 days, and there's no place to come back to and no place to get there. But I'm encouraged because a lot of folks around the country have responded to the hurricane relief funds, and I see that there's opportunities to serve these people who are destitute, who have lived a wonderful life and now have to start over again at age of 90. I can't imagine starting over again at the age of 90. But I'm here today not to talk about those things because you probably read about in the news. I'd like to first of all just say that how humbled I am to have been selected for this distinguished award. I'm overwhelmed to join such a great list. I received a list of those who received it before me, and I looked down a list, many I knew. I also spotted Don Knuth, who was a classmate of mine, a good friend. He was also the statistician of our championship basketball team. And I remember that he provided both Coach Sudik and Coach Heim with these statistics that said, if you guys shoot from these positions, you can win these games. So we had all these statistics we keep them in our heads and play basketball. And I was considered tall in that era. And today I'd have to be a point guard, I think. I don't think at 6'3" or whatever you could be playing basketball for Case. We started in a bandbox over here where Howard Johnson's used to be. And we got the brand new gymnasium, and I thought, wow, what a change. What's the problem we had with that big space? We couldn't find the basket because it was too big. We lose your perspective on things. But we managed to hang in there, and so it was a great memory. And I also want to thank President Eric down here. We had a wonderful luncheon the other day of what you've done on the Case campus. When I was at Case, we had nothing but gravel and parking lots and no grass. I don't know if you were there in the 60s and 50s like I was, but we used to walk around and think, will we ever see any green on this campus? And today I walk through it and I'm just impressed. I'd like to go back to when I was 18 and graduated from Mentor High School and start over again, really. It would be wonderful to be able to walk on a real campus. But it's beautiful, and the university, this building and everything that I've seen take place here, it's like a new beginning. It is a new beginning. With a new president, with new visions, with the goals that you've set, I think it's terrific. And to have 38,000 applicants for 1,550 positions is amazing. But it's a tribute to the reputation of the school, and I think that we're to carry on that legacy. We're to carry on that legacy and tell others about how great Case Western Reserve is. I do have a few prepared remarks to try and honor the 5-minute time span. Most of you probably know that I'm a Christian, and I like to thank God and Lord Jesus Christ for all the opportunities that He's given me in 84 years. And I have been through a lot, as we all have. We moved 15 times in my lifetime, and I've lived in 18 different residences. And I think there must be some gypsy DNA in my background, because who wants to move 15 times and live in 18 different places and think, well, was there another move coming? I don't think I'll have to move in Florida this time, but it's been quite a life. And I'm deeply indebted to all those who poured their wisdom into my life, their love into my life, starting with my parents, my teachers through elementary years and high school years. Of course, the coaches that I've had in high school. Lee Tressel was my Mentor High School football coach. You might recognize the name from the Buckeyes. He had a great motto, and Lee was a tiger. He could have played in the NFL, but he decided to go into education because he wanted to raise up young men and women and create values in them that will last a lifetime. And his son, Jimmy Tressel, was a little kid running around the field in those days. But he had a motto. It's a bragging rights. We set the state record at 36 straight wins at Mentor High School, and it's been eclipsed since then. But he said, we talked about a winning streak, and he said, remember guys, he said, we want to have gracious winners, not good losers. He said, you show me a loser and they're a loser, but I want to have you guys be gracious winners. And we won, and we won, and we won. And it was quite an experience, but it taught me that the benefit and the need for being competitive, being gracious, but also be a winner. And I think everyone in this room, and I look around, I think there are a lot of winners in this room. You wouldn't be here if you weren't a winner. And so I'm indebted to my friend Lee Tressel, who went to be with the Lord a long time ago, much too early, like Vince Lombardi in his 50s. Great man. But I also am deeply indebted to the exceptional professors who I had at Case Western Reserve. They poured their lives into us. They taught us so much. I remember it was in the early days of the computers. You guys might not remember, we had a computer center on Case. I think my cell phone has more power than that computer. And we'd be in there 3 o'clock in the morning figuring why our punch card program that we had to write didn't work. And if you ever dropped a stack of cards, you were there all night because you couldn't put them back together again. It was a different era. You know, the UNIVAC and the IBM 650 and those things that we thought were state of the art, well, not quite like they are today. But it was an exciting time. Operations research, data analytics was coming into the field at that time. They called it management science. I don't know about science and management, but I do think that it was a great learning time. And I would say that I was challenged to be a lifelong learner. One of the things I really learned is that learning doesn't stop when you graduate from university or when you graduate from graduate school or anywhere along the line. Life is exciting if you're a lifelong learner. And I started early embracing the scientific method. I was an avid reader of Scientific American magazine. Anybody ever read Scientific American magazine? So a few hands go up. You know, I like to solve all the math problems. They were a challenge to me when I was in junior high school and high school, solving all the math problems. And I thought, wonder where that's going to lead me someday. Led me to Case Western Reserve, Case and then Case Western Reserve. We learned to follow the evidence to find out where there was truth. And I know we learned a lot about the law of thermodynamics. We learned about the laws of gravity and electronics and all these things. And in my late years, I said, you're never too late to learn something new. I learned about a new law. You probably all know about it. The law of non-contradiction. You all know about that law? Everybody knows the law of well, it's something to be taken away, maybe a little takeaway. I discovered it recently, and the law of contradiction says truth exists. And it's important because truth then can be discovered. So truth exists, and whatever contradicts it is false. And you can go back to someone like Copernicus, one of the early guys who, in those days, they thought what? The sun went around the earth, right? And of course, he said, I don't think so. I think we're going to pursue this and see what's true. And the truth is, the reverse is true. You know, we orbit the sun. So what was considered to be truth wasn't truth, but discovery brought truth. And so you can look at life that way and say that anything that contradicts truth is false. It's a law of non-contradiction. So I don't know if we're teaching that here, but it's something, because that allows us then to discover, to invent, to create, to do things, because there is truth. And I think that's important to know. One of the things I was encouraged to do by the professors at Case was to think outside the box. To not just go along with the crowd, but think outside the box. And to think of ideas that would change the world, kind of like what you're doing in your biosciences. Ideas that would change the world. Ideas that would make it a better place for everybody. And also learn that you need to live by your core values. That the two most important assets that you have as a human being is your reputation and your character. Because if ever those get compromised, then you will never be trusted, and no one will ever want to follow you. You cannot be a leader if you can't be trusted. And so our reputation and our character are the two most important assets that we have. We take those with us through life, and we take them with us to eternity. I learned that building enterprises was exciting. I had a chance to build and work with several enterprises, 3 great Cleveland companies, Diamond Alkali, Leaseway Transportation, and Bearings Incorporated, now Applied Industrial Technologies. And we transformed Bearings Inc. because if we pursued the old course, we'd have gone out of business. Because there was too much competition in the bearing business, the margins were shrinking, the profit was disappearing. And profit is not a dirty word. Profit's an important word to sustain enterprises. And so we reached out to people who said, "We'll never represent us," the Parker Hannifins and the Emersons and these people who said, "We'll see." And today the company is the largest representative customer of all those companies. And I think the lesson to learn there is, don't say it can't be done, just figure out a way to do it, which is what you did. Just figure out a way to do it. AIT is celebrating its 100th anniversary next year. Not many companies make 100 years. A lot of great companies have fallen by the wayside. But I'm pleased to say that I was there at a time when we changed the vision, changed the company. Maybe you saw the building up on 36th and Euclid. People said, "Why aren't you building a red brick building?" I said, "We're building a spaceship." I said, "It's going to go out and challenge new worlds." And I wanted you to think that at nighttime that building gets off the ground and goes somewhere else and comes back here. And people looked at me like I was crazy. We hired this crazy architect to build this building like this, a modern technology building. And the neighborhood said, "That is really quite something." But it was looking at the future like we have here. A couple of final comments. I also came to realize that while all that's exciting and all that's important, the most important thing I learned is to enable others to reach their potential. We talked about mentoring. You talked about mentoring. To invest in those so they have a chance to reach their potential. And that includes associates of the firm, colleagues that you work with, and especially my beloved family, my children, my grandchildren, one of whom is here. The others couldn't be here today. To continue to invest in the lives of others so that they can have the same opportunities that we have. And therefore, I close with this remark, and that is, I am committed to seeing that exceptional students applying to Case Western Reserve can receive scholarships so that they can continue to enjoy the education that I did, and that they can make a difference in the world, just like everyone in this room is doing. So that commitment to the university, to the Alumni Association, is rock solid. You can count on that. And finally, I'd like to, again, thank you for this opportunity to say hello to family, for the prestigious award from the Alumni Association. I'll be forever grateful in your entrusting it to me so that I can leave a legacy for others. So thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Carmina and Alex. Congratulations to everybody. And when I say thank you, I will say from here to Aishwarya, who has been a wonderful president these past 2 years. Aishwarya, we will miss your leadership. Thank you so much. So, applause for her, yes. And to our 4 award winners who are here, if you can come down here, we'll get a group shot as soon as we wrap up here. And we're wrapping up right now, I promise. But dessert is on the way, so hang on if you want a dessert. And lastly, I just want to say, Felipe, Ollie, Tim, Jack, and Cheryl, we are so proud to have you as alumnus of Case Western Reserve University. You really, really make us proud, and we're proud of you, and we're proud to celebrate with you today. So have a great homecoming. It's going to be cold, but that's kind of the weather we want, right? All right, see you. Bye.